Hi everyone, Reece from Snare here, and welcome to another video in the Snare E3 series. Today I'm going to be talking about the extend portion of E3 and the powerful features it enables within your SIEM product. So what is Snare E3? The first video in the series provides a comprehensive explanation of Snare E3 and its capabilities. For a detailed understanding, I recommend you go back and watch it. However, for those looking for a quick overview, Snare E3 is an intrinsic set of features provided by Snare products that can enable, extend, and enrich your SIEM's capabilities. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, today we're going to look at the extend section of Snare E3, and specifically how Snare E3 extends QRadar's capabilities. There are three main use cases I'm going to review, and the first of those is registry and file integrity monitoring. This enables us to generate logs when a file or key is either created, deleted, or modified. The second is a custom DSM to extend QRadar's parsing capabilities. This allows us to get maximum value from the generated file and registry logs. Then finally, we're going to visualize the file and registry data within custom dashboards within Pulse. So let's take a look. The first step to enabling file and registry integrity monitoring in QRadar is to configure the Snare agent. To do this, I'm going to open up my web browser and log into the Snare agent's web portal. As you can see, there are a number of other menu options within the Snare agent. For the sake of this video, we're going to focus on file integrity monitoring and registry integrity monitoring. Let's start with file integrity monitoring. As you can see, I already have a pre-existing rule configured to monitor a directory on my desktop. If we look at the details within the last scan, I get some information about when the last scan was performed by the agent, the number of files it detected, and the time it took to perform the scan. I also get some information about when the next scan is scheduled. If I click on Modify, let's take a look at what's going on within this rule. As you can see, there are a number of configuration options for a file integrity monitoring rule. The first of those is the schedule. This tells the agent how often it should check the specified files for changes. This option can be set to either once per day, at midnight, once per hour, or you can specify your own interval using the cron format. I'm going to leave it in its current setting, which will check the file once per minute. We then have the alert level. This enables us to set a specific log alert level per destination format. For the moment, I'm going to leave this as default. Next, we have the file or directory setting. This is where we specify the file or directory to monitor. This field does support recursion of directories by specifying a wildcard operator. I have done this by specifying a star at the end of the destination. Then finally, we have the inclusion and exclusion format settings. This allows us to include or exclude specific files within a directory by matching them and using wildcard operators to include or exclude. For the moment, we're going to leave those as the default settings. With the rule all set up, I'm going to save my changes by pressing the Change Configuration button. Now that we've made modifications to the Snare agent's configuration, we get to notice that changes have been updated but not yet applied. For settings to take effect, we need to select the Apply Configuration and Restart Service option. I'm going to hold off on this as we're next going to look at registry integrity monitoring. As you can see, registry integrity monitoring is almost identical to file integrity monitoring. The only difference can be seen inside the rule. I already have a pre-existing rule here, so let's take a look inside to see what the differences are. As you can see, most of the settings are the same. The only difference is that we now have to specify a root registry key, which can be specified from the drop down here, as well as a registry key or value to monitor. Let's save this rule and go back out to the main menu. We have now configured file and registry integrity monitoring rules within the Snare agent. The final step to apply these settings is use the Apply Configuration and Restart options. Once we do this, the Snare agent will begin sending logs for either file integrity monitoring events or registry integrity monitoring events. This agent is currently configured to send events to QRadar, so let's go over to the next use case and see those events within QRadar itself. We're now going to look at the custom DSM running within QRadar to pass our file and registry integrity events. I already have a QRadar tab open, so let's take a look. As you can see, we're in the log activity window of QRadar, and two events have just occurred within my environment. One for a file modification, and one for a registry modification. Thanks to the event mappings within the custom DSM, we get meaningful event names and low-level categories. This makes searching and finding data much easier. Let's go another level deeper and look at the custom fields mapped within an event. As you can see, we have a large amount of meaningful data passed and presented within this view. We have event names and descriptions, information about the object changed, the object's new hash value as well as its previous hash value, the location of the object, and a number of other important data points. This custom parsing makes finding and retrieving integrity data much easier. Let's take a look at the next use case where we see visual representations of this data within Pulse dashboards. In this final use case, we're going to look at the visual representation of data collected from our agents. This is done via dashboards in the Pulse app. I already have a QRadar tab open, so let's take a look. What we can see here is a file integrity monitoring dashboard within QRadar Pulse. In the top right hand corner, we can specify a time span to instantly get a picture of our file integrity events across this period. We also have many other meaningful metrics, such as the events per file, where if I hover over a particular section, I get an idea of the actual file location as well as the number of events. I also have a chart that specifies the type of events occurring, whether that is creation, modification, or removal. We get direct totals of the number of events occurring, as well as a table where we can view the events themselves. We also have a separate dashboard for registry integrity events. Let's go take a look at that. As you can see, the registry integrity dashboard has a very similar layout to the file integrity dashboard, but provides just as much information about the changes happening within your environment. If I hover over the events per key chart, I get very similar breakdown of the object path as well as the number of events. Let's recap what we've looked at in this video. In this video, we have looked at how Snare can enable, extend, and enrich QRadar's log data by monitoring and capturing FIM/RIM events, interpreting those events with a custom DSM inside QRadar, and presenting those events quickly and in real time via dashboards. If you would like more information, please visit us at snaresolutions.com. Thank you for watching.